Hi there, this is Molly, and welcome to the next video in the Twin Flame Healing Journey teaching series, where I'm going to answer some of your Q&A, and it's important Q&A that is very relevant. And the most important question, or rather the most popular question that has come up is, what if we do not unite? What if my twin and I do not come together in the physical? What does that mean? What does that signify in my life? It can feel big depending where you are on your healing path. So let me give you some information to consider. And it's important to know. So Amber asks, what if we are not supposed to unite? Is that okay? Does that mean I'm missing out on something important in my life, or that I'm going to miss my mission work? So Amber, one of the biggest things to understand is how you are your own energy, you are your own person, and that this is your life, your choices. And yes, you are deeply connected with another, and you feel that. And we want to have that connection made real in our world. But this could be a situation that the connection between the two of you is not in the physical at all times. And so when you talk about union, I did videos on the bridge to union and types of union, and how it's ultimately an energetic and spiritual experience first, and then it trickles down into the physical. So I think what you're asking is, what if we do not unite in the physical? Even though I feel it in the spiritual, in the 5D, what if I don't see it in my real life? What if I never talk to him again? What if I never see him again? What if we never text or email again? What if this person is gone in my life? Or what if we are just in separate places in our life? We're on separate paths. So it's important to understand how healing happens in many ways. And we live in a benevolent, loving universe that allows us to heal based on our own free will. And that is something we have to choose. So you might not unite with someone because they are not doing their healing work. They haven't stepped up to the plate, so to speak. And the way that union happens is that it's through your energetic equal. It's the person who mirrors back to you your own energy. And if they are not your energetic equal, if your twin is much slower, or they're doing different things right now, or they're focused on other areas of their life, if they are not awake, if they are not aware of this experience and what they're capable of just yet, essentially, if they are not your energetic equal, it can be in both people's best interest to not unite, to not be in union, because you want someone who is your equal. And if you're in a relationship where you don't have that, there will be difficulties, because you want to be with someone who respects you, who honors you, who loves you, who cherishes you in the same way that they do that for themselves. So this is about an energetic equal. And that twin flame might not be there yet. If they're on a different path, if they're on the slow boat, if they're not awake, there could be many reasons. And so you have to look at what it means for you, because you could have true grief around that. You could have true heartache and heartbreak that could stem back to multiple lifetimes or experiences. You could have many things here that are about pain that isn't healed yet. And so that's why you have a big expectation of union, or a deep desire for it, because at a soul level, you know that this is the person that you're meant to be in union with. But if they are not your equal, please see that as a blessing. And that's not about someone is better than. It's simply about honoring where that choices have played out, and where you are still in your power and what you need to heal. Because if, for example, you never hear from that person again, you never talk to them, you never email, it's just done, then you still can be energetically connected to them intuitively, spiritually, through telepathy, through your dreams, through other signs even. And understand that there's love in so many ways here, and it can play out in so many ways. Now, there's other ways to look at this question. If you're not in union, is it because the other person is resisting you? If so, that's revealing to you how much they're in their ego mind. And that's where they need to do their healing work. And that has to be their choice. You don't have power over their choice. So if they understand they have a connection with you, but they haven't opened up to it, and they're in their ego mind, they could be dealing with self-protection. They could feel defensive. They could be unable to take responsibility for their choices or what they've done or what they've said. There can be a lot of pain. A lot of pain on this journey, a lot of heartbreak and rejection and judgment and shame. Shame can be a big one. So it really stirs up the stuff at the very bottom of our energies, right? Like it brings up the deepest hurts, the biggest pain. And it can feel traumatic, some of this stuff. And so you take responsibility for your healing. That's what you can do. That's your power. That's all you've got, okay? You are not able to do their side of the healing. That's their choice. And if they aren't doing that, you owe it to yourself to honor what you need and what you want, and to stay strong in the type of partnership and relationship you do want. Now, it's very possible to be in a relationship with someone who is not your twin flame, but who is your energetic equal. There are other people, kindred spirits, who you don't have the karma with, you don't have to do deep healing work with. They've already done their work, and they can be your energetic equals. And they love you, and they respect you, and they honor you, and they have their own level of awareness, of responsibility, integrity. There's other people on the planet who can be your energetic equal. And the twin flame connection can make you focus on one person a lot, to the point of codependence, over expectation. You can feel like this has to happen, like you can be really fixated on them. And what I want to help you with is to stay in your power. That again, the benevolent, loving universe that we live in, be it whatever you call it, God, Source, the Creator, Spirit, loves you and your journey and wants you to have that love reflected back to you. So you can still find the right energetic equal in another person. If it's not your twin flame, if they're not at the same place you are on your healing path. Now, because the ego mind can step in, and the ego mind can shut down healing work. Like if somebody has deep shame about how they've hurt you, or their choices, or that they don't believe they're worthy of the connection, that shame will shut things down. And that's up to them to move through that energy or not. They might not want to do the work around that, because this connection requires work. It requires the energy healing. And you, Amber, have to be at a place where you love yourself so much and you value yourself so much that you know you can have exactly what's in your heart reflected back to you. And it doesn't have to be that person. And you can still love that twin flame and you can miss them. But you can also do work to clear out your disappointment, grief, heartache, pain, anger, whatever it is for you. You can clear that out for yourself. That's the next question I'm going to answer, is about energy healing. But please know that if you do not unite with your twin, you are still going to be okay. And you're going to still have a beautiful life and have great love and have what you want, because that is what's within you. That's your power. That's your choice. So don't put everything onto the twin flame connection if they're not showing up as your equal. Because the thing about this connection, and especially if there has been a lot of pain, heartache, heartbreak, anger, and it's usually the divine feminine who's been on the receiving end of that, because she's been the leader of this connection and the one who has been healing first in general, there's exceptions. But she's at the point where if he, the divine masculine, and this is not about gender, it could be either gender, can be divine masculine or divine feminine. But if that divine masculine energy, if he is only at the bare minimums, okay, if he's not really your equal, it's a bit like if he's only at the bare minimums and he thinks he can show up, honestly, it's better that he doesn't show up at all. Like, don't show up, be in the bare minimums here. Like, you have to be fully in your divine masculine energy, and you have to, it's about taking responsibility. It's about healing your heart. It's about understanding how to do that, and how to, if he needs to offer you an apology, or he needs to take care of some other responsibilities, or if he needs to clear something out in his life so that he can stand on his own and be in his own authority, be in his own power. That's what needs to happen on his side. And you can have this attachment to his choices. And that's where you have to call your energy back to yourself and detach. And stay in your power, and stay in your trusting, and stay in your love, and stay in what you need in your life. Now, everyone has a different situation with this. So I'm just speaking in generalities, and you'll know what's right for you. But I just want to give you the message that if you are not in union, if you do not come into union, if that doesn't happen, your life happiness does not depend on it. Unless you give your power away. And if you give your power away, that is your choice. That's on you. So you call it back and declare, well, I want these things in my life. You know, in my world, I was ready to be married. I wanted children. I wanted the right family. I wanted stability. I wanted certain things in my life. And that didn't happen with that person. And so I had to move through the deep healing of that. And then I got to that place of declaring, how I still want those things. And that's when my energetic equal showed up in my life, because I couldn't wait around. Ultimately, I was in my early 30s. Like, I was just ready. And okay, I had to do healing work, and that was my responsibility. But when I did it, literally, an amazing man came forward who wanted those same things, who was ready. His heart was open. And so I've seen it firsthand that you can have your life unfold in many ways and still be happy and still be fulfilled. And I know that was the right choice, because I never heard from this other person again. Like, I never heard from him again. Like, it was easy for him to let me go and to forget about me, and I didn't exist. Like, that was it, the energy. And so I had to take the responsibility of what I want in my life and to own that. And so that's how it's played out for me. Now, I have friends who are in union and who are coming into union, and that's also exciting. But it's okay to see if your path goes a different way. It doesn't make you less. It doesn't take away your own happiness unless you allow it to. So if you're not in union, you have to heal yourself at a deeper level spiritually, where you can be at peace. You can feel a neutrality. You can forgive you can release and you can come back to that love, that bigger love that still exists between the two of you, even if it doesn't look that way in the physical. Because you can still have a powerful connection with someone, even if you never hear from them again. So in my case, I was deeply rejected, let go of. He let go of me twice, actually. And I never heard from him again. And I was responsible for healing that part of myself. That's my responsibility. And I'm so happy I have. Because now I can be in that place of acceptance and understanding and live an awesome life and have a great marriage and have a great family. So those things that you want, they travel with you. They travel with you. And so you have to keep claiming them. And it is not about somebody else. It really isn't. But that can be confusing on this journey when you just have a deep connection with somebody else and they're not in the physical with you. So another person, Carol, had asked, if we do not unite, does that do damage to our souls or to our lives? And the short answer is no way, not at all, Carol, because there is no damage in this connection or this relationship. It's about the bigger love. And it's almost like you're taking a break or it's on pause, or if you do not unite in the physical, you can still energetically feel it. And you can still honor that connection and feel it as something strong that supports you. There's different ways that you can find peace with it. And it never damages the soul, because the soul is all about love and forgiveness, compassion, acceptance, joy, all of that. Okay? So the soul sees the beauty and perfection in everything. And in terms of damaging your life, only if you let it, honestly, only if that's what you allow, because again, it comes back to responsibility of, well, I'm going to heal this in myself. I'm not going to let this stop me from living the life I want. I'm not going to let somebody else's choices, somebody else's path, somebody else's anything diminish what I want in my life. So another gift of the twin flame journey, regardless of union or not union, is that you still retain your power, the bigger power, the spiritual power. Okay, that's part of what this is. So please know that union is desired, and there's some teachers who say it's fated. And I don't know that you can say that, because we always have free will. And you can't always say what everyone's going to do. Of course, and everyone has their choices, and it depends on what they've healed within themselves. Again, people could have something in their ego that they're resisting the healing. They're resisting it because they haven't taken responsibility maybe, or they're defensive, or they're self-protective. And so they have more work to do, really, because the spiritual part of this directs you to peace and love for everyone involved at all levels of their being. And until you've reached that place, which is actually true neutrality, then you're not there yet. And not everyone's going to do that deep level work. And that's part of this choice too, the free will, is that it's almost like, well, someone doesn't have to do anything, so they could just, exit on the off-ramp and make another choice. And that is valid too. It really is at the higher levels. But what you have to do is look at what's best for you and to honor that on your path. And then someone asked about energy clearing. How do you do energy clearing? Is there one way to do it, or what should I look at? So energy clearing happens at multiple levels of our energy systems. Crying is one way to clear energies, and it's good to release it, to get it out, to allow yourself to express those emotions honestly and authentically. So crying is actually energy clearing. You can intentionally work with your feelings through therapy, counseling, various healing modalities. I recommend also making sure you're doing body work, body healing, acupuncture, acupressure, Reiki, massage, anything where your body releases what it's been holding, because our muscles can hold in the emotions at a cellular level. You can energetically work with the soul wounds through more spiritual lines of healing, Akashic records, past lives, shamanic journeying. There's so many ways to do that. But you look at the bigger story between the two of you, and you look at the bigger themes, okay? And what didn't happen. Because it could be in this lifetime you knew that there was something that was supposed to happen, or you were ready for it to happen. It did not happen. It's like it fell through the cracks. It brings up then everything from every other lifetime where you felt the same pain, heartbreak. It can be deeper than that. It could be like the relationship didn't happen and you died, or the relationship fell apart and you were left out in the cold, literally. There can be so many ways this unfolds. So I think it's important to do that kind of healing work. I'm going to give you some people I recommend. So please look for that link under this video. And also I offer you the weekly Universal Spiritual Laws course that's meant to help you with your own energy, because that's where your power is, okay? And you understand your power through the 12 universal laws. So that's below this video if you're interested in doing that, because it's important to do your spiritual work and to do it consistently and to do it with responsibility. It's hard. It's hard. It is, but it gets easier as you elevate in consciousness and self-awareness, as you see the themes, as you clear the energies out. So these are just some ways you can do energy clearing. There's many more out there, and please follow what's best for you. But know that there's deep support for us right now in this work, and that you won't leave behind your own energy. You're not going to leave behind who you are. This connection will only make you more of yourself. It will only add to your life, add to your confidence, add to your power, add to your sense of self-worth and self-love when you have really healed it. And until you feel in that place, you have work to do. And understand that union is not what it's all about, because the story between the two of you goes back so far. And it's a story, the ultimate love story, and it is a God-given connection. It's that big, it's that deep, and no one else can take it away. No one else can replace it. No one else can fill that seat or fill that void. And so if you have that void in your life, you can fill it spiritually and energetically within yourself through energy clearing and through honoring what you still want to create in your life. Truly, it only adds to what you want, and you will find an energetic equal. Now, the other thing that can happen is that you need to make sure and protect yourself against other people, or what they think, or what they say, or what they tell you. Because if this kind of connection becomes part of a gossip mill thing, and too many people are involved, it can get contaminated. And I mean, people don't really get it. Like, I get the image of a hen house with chickens gossiping, right? Bok, bok, bok. And they're like sharing this, and what about this? And they're all about the drama or the story, or they're not even on the same level of it. These could be people who might be trying to influence or negatively influence the connection. So you have to watch out for that too. Ultimately, the twin flame connection, regardless of what transpires, gives you a bigger understanding of what true love really is, of what unconditional love really is. And that understanding is not based on the physical world. It's not based on human choices. It's a spiritual love. It's a God connection that's bigger. And other people aren't going to get it. And if the hen house is talking, just know that it'll move through, right? Until the next episode of Real Housewives comes on, and then they'll talk about that. But this is something precious, and it isn't for everybody. And it's good to honor that if you're not in union, because you don't need people gossiping about it. It's not even at that level. It's not for them. It's not for them to touch. It's not for them to be connected with. It's none of their business. But people do talk. So I guess I just offer that because there's something that can be private about this that's only between the two of you. It's like there can be events and circumstances that happen that are only between the two of you. Nobody else's business. Nobody else's energy is needed to validate it or anything. So understand that's also part of this. And especially if you're not in union, still honor it. Still see it as precious, because that's part of how you're honoring yourself and respecting yourself. So if you are not in union, or if you are not supposed to unite, or you don't do that, you still retain your full power, your full connection, and ultimately it's still about embracing your connections to unconditional love. In the next video, I'm going to answer more Q&A about third-party situations, and that video should be available for you soon. Thanks, friends.